Welcome back everyone for a Hawk Flippin' Cobra Kai Season 4 Watch Party. The universally agreed upon greatest character ever is Hawk. Well, at least by the cool fans. But really though, the story of Hawk has been the widest stretching story in the show so far. He started out as the scrawny, scared Eli. He imagined girls saying bad things about him. It paralyzed him. He did nothing and stuck close to Dimitri. Together, they did nothing but go to computer camp. Miguel changed Eli. Through Miguel, Eli started to see the benefits of standing up for yourself.
I thought it was kind of cool how you stood up to Kyler.
After the cafeteria fight, Eli was the one who dragged Dimitri to Cobra Kai. But it was Johnny who had the greatest impact. Johnny never cared about social norms or expected politeness. He drew attention to Eli's scar. He talked about it. He put out in the open what Eli assumed everyone was doing in private. But now that it was out in the open, Johnny could address it directly.
If you want to be something other than a nerd with a scar on his lip, you gotta flip the script, okay?
And so he did.
I'm flipping the script.
And so the rest is history. Except it wasn't. Having learned a more aggressive approach to life, Hawk went overboard. He kept pushing and pushing because he found that is how to get ahead. It was so much better than his old life, he kept pushing deeper. By the end of Season 3, Hawk had almost no connection to the old scrawny Eli. At the pivotal moments, Johnny's words again touched his soul and drove him to flip the script. Hawk realized the people he liked, his friends, were on the other side of the fight. He joined them and kicked butt. So now Hawk is back with Johnny and Eagle Fang. His role in the combined dojo will be significant as he is a top-tier fighter. But it's also because he's a top-tier fighter that he will look at what's happening differently. He's a lifelong friend of Dimitri, and Dimitri already accepted his help in the LaRusso man's brawl. While the path of repairing the friendship is long, they already made the most significant progress. Likewise, Miguel trusts Hawk. They too were friends, and Hawk always looked up to Miguel. I don't expect that to change. I think Miguel's role will be to try and help Hawk get accepted by the rest of the Miyagi-Dos, and that's where the problem is. Most of the Miyagi-Do students won't trust him, obviously, especially Sam. They had a little or even a lot of tension between them. Their animosity was some of my favorite Hawk moments in Season 3.
Actually, why don't you go sleep around with someone new and break his heart?
She isn't going to trust him, and the rest of the Miyagi-Do students will follow her lead. This puts Hawk in the position of needing to prove himself. That is, he needs to prove he can be trusted. His need to prove that will be the first half of his story arc in Season 4. Miguel will be on his side but is conflicted because of Sam. He likes her and she doesn't like Hawk. Miguel won't be able to convince her or the other students. It falls on Hawk. The problem is his normal aggression won't work. "I'm here, aren't I?" isn't exactly convincing. That could be enough for him and maybe even Dimitri, but not the rest. He needs to focus more on team building, where he's not an aggressive leader but one of the team. This also brings him to Johnny. This is a key moment in the footage we've seen so far. It's the first episode. They're obviously practice sparring. Dimitri messes up. He's never been a favorite of Johnny, and Johnny throws the water bottle at him. You see the Eagle Fangs think this is funny. Hawk does not think it is funny. He's trying to patch things up with Dimitri and no longer appreciates the attitude. He doesn't want to see Dimitri put down like that. That carries his arc for the first half of Season 4. He's also now learning from Daniel and seeing different approaches to karate. Over time, these different approaches will sink in. Hawk will learn that they can also be effective. He doesn't have to rely on pure aggression all the time. Expect a moment in the early season, maybe episode 2 or 3, where Hawk relies on his aggression and fails. Then in the same episode, or later, he uses a less aggressive approach and succeeds. Defense can also win. That plants the seeds of change. Then, as I predicted in my previous video, somewhere in episode 5, Hawk will break. That is, something happens in training that will prompt him to change. He leaves class early, just like he's done before. When he comes back, he's flipped the script again. He's now Purple Hawk. He wants to embrace more of the Miyagi-Do philosophy. He's seeing pure aggression isn't always the best path to victory. So by dropping the red, he's shedding his Eagle Fang connection and growing closer to Miyagi-Do. He's obviously not all the way there yet, but it is a significant script flip. Not only is Hawk closer to Miyagi-Do teachings, he will now be gaining the trust of the Miyagi-Do students. It was a long journey, but this will definitely be part of the mid-season high point for the combined dojos. It's a victory. They can work together and they can win the All Valley. That leaves the back half of the season. The back half of the season is where things start to go wrong. After embracing part of Miyagi-Do, Hawk will find it harder and harder to maintain his loyalty to Eagle Fang. He does tend to have an all-or-nothing personality. This is also where Tori's threat comes in.
Traitors. You better watch your back.
Life will get hard in the back half of the season. Now, Hawk is in the position of maintaining balance between the dojos. Except balance is not his thing. There is the popular theory that he will be attacked and they will cut the mohawk off entirely. Hawk loses his hair and with it, his personality. He puts so much into that hairdo. That is the death of Hawk. Every story arc has a death of some kind. Following the death is a scene often referred to as the dark night of the soul. This is where the hero, Hawk in this case, contemplates his future. He's lost everything that held him to the old world, his old life. Can he take this step forward and move on to the new life? Hawk will pick himself up and move on, without the hair, without the personality, and without the persona. He's a new person, he's a new fighter. He'll still have the back tattoo, obviously that is permanent. But even with that tattoo, maybe he changes it again, changes the Reaper into something else. The back tattoo may change, but it is also a memento from where he's come. This profound change, specifically Hawk leaving his old life behind, means he will fully embrace Miyagi-Do. Sometimes the only way to go is forward. Now moving past that, I can't predict a whole lot. Will he still be called Hawk? Without the hair, probably not. Will his scar retake prominence? Perhaps not, especially if he can maintain social dominance. Whatever it is, this is how Hawk can truly find redemption for his past mistakes. He even gains Sam's trust. Maybe he even trusts her. It's a major shift from what has come before. This all leads to the tournament. In the big moment, when Hawk enters the All Valley tournament, he will fight for Miyagi-Do, not Eagle Fang. Hawk is transformed. He is now the complete opposite from what he was before. Perhaps he even fights under the name Moskowitz.
It's Eli Moskowitz.
In which case, the Hawk is truly gone. He will make the semifinals as a Miyagi-Do, and while I still don't think he makes the finals, it's a huge advancement for him. Now, as the biggest Hawk fan from Season 1, I'm not in love with this storyline. The story structure is clear and perfect, and I think it'll happen. I'm just personally not in love with the idea that the path to redemption always runs through Miyagi-Do. The show is, or at least was, more complex than that. I don't want to criticize it much though because A, it hasn't happened yet, and B, there's more seasons to come. Perhaps a future season can give us the rebirth of Hawk. That is something Julie Pierce is good at.
Julie-san, try to protect the Hawk is okay. Good. But should have told Miyagi.
So that is Hawk in Season 4, flipping the script yet again all the way back to Eli Moskowitz and fighting for Miyagi-Do. Will he continue to be cool and badass, or a major letdown? We'll wait and see. Let me know what you think of Hawk's script flipping in Season 4. Leave a comment, I love reading them all. Have a great day, I'll see you at the next watch party.